Then, with introductions underway, and we have our crew assembled, we are going to go from our landing page here back to the farming village of Breeze Bane, so named for all of the windmills here that are harnessing the wind that is channeled through this highland countryside, and is being put to work, probably milling grain and providing other mechanical benefits to the residents here. It is a beautiful summer's day, and the dwarven residents of Breezebane had their day interrupted when a hole in reality tore open and a horrible monstrosity came screaming from the sky. It subsequently crashed through no direct fault of any of the members aboard the Repentless. In fact, they were very much actively trying to keep it from doing so. They actually get credit for it not being a horrible wreck or a mangle of a wreck. So it crashed. You all were knocked around unconscious, only to start coming around as you were found by a group of dwarves, of all people. So you're certainly not in Kansas anymore. And by that, I mean not even in Mesotopia, because there's really only one place where there are some dwarves in the whole of the Mesotopia region, and that's the Browbeat Mountains of Mesomasca, and y'all ain't here. Plus, they were speaking in a language you didn't quite understand. Like, Bright kind of caught on to some of it, could at least identify the language. But they also saw that you weren't from around these here parts and switched to the common tongue, though with a bit of an accent. You were able to kind of muddle through the slang, the nicknames of things, terms, and you had found that the Repentless was um, cloaked, kind of. Instead of looking like a horrible monstrosity, it actually was trying to hold its appearance like that of a ship of the line from Shadahar. Though, of course, Mordecai, you saw that illusion was flickering and maybe even failing in a couple parts. You went to search for Cypher and Selter, and neither could be seen. So it was just you all. You did not see DJ nor Tam as well, though you did find Snowball, who was the lizard that had dwelt inside the main repository of wealth aboard the Repentless, and also that was gone too. There was pretty much no longer a cup nor coin in the treasury vault. But you got a lizard. You have each other. You kind of have your health, though it's questionable whether some people might have had their heads knocked around a little bit. You were Bright was hailed as a not exactly a conquering hero, but maybe a liberating hero, since it was inadvertently admitted, though whether you actually did it or not, they don't seem to care, that you had assassinated the Emperor of the Shadahar Empire and stolen one of their one of their Imperator class ships and landed it here. And they're like, nah, we got you. We'll cover for you. That's really cool. We want to take you back and introduce you to everyone. So you had a stroll from the crash site into the village proper of Breezebane, located in the lands in these sort of mountainous hills known as the Queensland. And here you are, getting to know the dwarves that were escorting you, seeing the sights. You saw that the farmland here seemed to be very rich and fertile. This is the height of summer, so there are vegetables of all varieties above and below ground. Just fat fish swimming around, looking really healthy in nice, like, cold mountain stream water. This is if you like rural living, this is rather paradisical. Um, you were stopping by a couple places. All the dwarves seem to know each other. You were kind of getting the attention of people, but it didn't seem to be a terribly big deal. There weren't exactly armed guards that were either seen or were like, oh, strangers, who's this? as you all walk through, wave to everyone who is tending their flocks of sheep or their cattle or their fishing or growing vegetables, tending their gardens and farmlands. And there is, even out this way, to further indicate you might be in Shadahar territory, there is
And a
a
fluffy
more
puppy.
rural airship that's kind of just sort of putting around.
Maybe
There
a
are
fluffy
dogs
dog
too,
somewhere.
running around on as you would expect in farm country. So them coming by, probably giving y'all some sniffs and looks, playing with kids or trying to herd the sheep and such. You all had made your acquaintance. You were just settling in. Bright, because we did have not a fade to black for a bad reason, but it was you're tired. You possibly have concussions. You're going to get a full rest, and also, ding, you're level 19. So if any of you have last minute stuff to lock in for your level up, 1, congratulations. 2, you might want to do it before we get started, because who knows what happens. And Bright went out to a hilltop, and this is the Repentless, which is now a tree. And by that, it's a Mirage Arcana, but you know what? You know where it is on the map. But there is a little thing kind of peeking out of it right there. So with the countryside being covered, you have your cover for what happened. We didn't quite pass the night, so we can go back and you can do things over the course of the evening. Otherwise, you visited the Poké Center, and we can wake up in the morning. That is up to you all as individuals, but you are guests. And if you do have any questions then on the level, on things that might be available to you, especially because 19, it's your last ASI/feat. So please do consider it.
Did take mine.
I finished last minute changes.
Okay.
I didn't.
Brian, you're the wizard. You're supposed to do your homework.
Yeah, that's what they say, but I didn't. I'll take care of it soon.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
okay.
you get like 3 hit points or something. It's just.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take the hit points, but you'll have to owe me spells and an ASI.
Yeah. All right, just try not to like unfold or like unravel the universe too much until you take.
Yeah,
More than
right.
usual.
Yeah, right.
That's what I always do.
Well, I can hope.
This world's in shambles. Let's try to fix it.
So yes, a variety of food was made available to you, and you were given guest accommodation on the farm here from the family, a kind of extended family, but the family of dwarves as you had rolled in, and we can have a more formal introduction in the morning because not everyone was up or chatty or even at home. And so we'll have a much more meet the family for a good hearty breakfast. But before we get to the breakfast, it is nighttime. Bright, you have cast your Mirage Arcana. Can you throw that on screen in the chat log for me real quick in case I need to?
Sure. It's basically just a big illusion.
Illusion.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up. You should have
Okay. Okay. So, aside from Bright, sort of going back to the litter box and covering up the mess that was left there, is there anything at night you want to do besides rest? Any mischief, questions, exploration, or is it just, yeah, we crashed and I could probably sleep?
I could probably sleep.
Yeah, I could probably sleep.
Mordecai probably would ask a couple of questions of the person who's kind of lending us this house in a way. Just kind
Okay.
of because he's a thinky boy. So you're not upset that the Shadahar Emperor is proclaimed dead by us.
No, yeah. Not all.
Okay. You said something about a queen?
Well,
Called this the Queen's Land.
yeah, this is, so it's the land that's ruled over by the queen.
And who is the queen?
Well, she's not here right now. It's probably something that, you'll want to meet her, though you should probably meet the king first. But they're not, they're not together. Bit of a spot. It'd be a little difficult, I think, for you to understand as a newcomer to these lands. I can explain it, I promise. But right now, let's just say you could go on to meet him. It won't be a problem. But for right now, I think it's best that we'll keep it simple. Don't want to hurt your thinky bits.
Well, I imagine after we've all gotten some rest, that's something on the itinerary.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. Yours arrival wasn't quite so clandestine.
No.
And if we noticed, then so too did others around these parts. If nothing, we'll try not to have you be too much of a spectacle. But even if you did what you said you did, that itself won't necessarily cause you too much trouble. It would just be any worry that we might get visitors at some point. In which case, well, if you need to, root cellars down there, or there's the barn. Other places, if you hold your breath, you could hide in the stream. We'll let you know.
We're not running from anyone, particularly. And
I mean, we were kind of running from the Shadahar ships because they're shooting at us, I guess.
yeah, kind of want to stay out of sight from the Shadahar, but aside from that, we don't really have. We're not looking to make enemies.
No, we already have enemies.
They're
We just
far
gotta beat
away.
them.
We're more or less trying to solve the weather issue.
I don't know what you're
You know,
necessarily talking about.
the
Unless
Shadahar is freezing over more than usual, and it's kind of seeping down towards Mesomasca.
oh, it's reached that far. I guess you would have a bit of a problem, wouldn't you?
Whereabouts are we? Where is this Queensland in comparison to Shadahar?
It's only over a piece. Not necessarily that far away. Though the fact you were able to escape in that sort of a ship without them following you is a bit baffling. However, I was told you don't ask questions that you're not ready for the answer to, and frankly, the less I know right now, I think the best. But no, capital was over that way a piece. It's you're not necessarily far from it, and you're correct that the winters have been getting rather brutal. Didn't know it was really making it that far south.
It's the height of summer in Mesotopia too, and that's a tropical region, and it's freezing. Nearly.
It's not freezing. It's just more of fall weather.
Well, fall weather being somewhere around, like, big coat, like long sleeves. So it's kind of getting a little hot, actually.
Well, I don't know how you plan on addressing the weather, unless for some reason you think killing the Emperor was, he was the one behind it the whole time. Still good on you for doing it.
That was more of a side quest.
It's kind of tangentially related.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if you need anything, one of us here will probably be staying awake to make sure that you don't, get up and try to, burn down our house, murder us in our sleep, take our things.
That's not something that we would do. I mean,
Oh, No,
have a
I mean,
tendency
sure,
to
you
wake
murder the
up at
Emperor,
midnight
but
and get
then you steal an
snacks.
airship. I'm glad you won't kill a bunch of, farmers. Still, all the same, I'm feeling a rather, insomniac. So, if it's not me, it might be someone else.
I mean,
Anyway. Oh.
we're probably just going to want to talk to your leaders.
No doubt. Why don't you sleep first, and, we'll worry about all that in the morning.
Maybe one of us should stay up too.
If you want, I'm not going to tell you when to go to bed.
Celine doesn't sleep.
Right. That's you. Yeah, it used to be you would stay up all night and keep watch.
Yeah,
Because
no,
you
it's
didn't
her.
sleep, and now Celine doesn't sleep.
And now I'm tired.
I've been tired.
You've been drunk all day.
Yeah.
I haven't drunk anything. What are you talking about?
Day drinking on magic.
I don't drink.
I know drunk when I see it, and you
I
were
haven't had anything.
you were
Have you seen
rolling
me
over
drink
yourself
a single
laughing and dribbling and speaking pseudo-gnomish.
I think you guys are playing prank on me. I haven't drunk anything.
Like I said, you were drunk on magic. It was not
How
actual
did that even
alcohol.
work? You
I don't know.
can't just
You're
get
you.
drunk on magic.
You're you. These things just happen around you.
Mm-hmm. But
Well,
one of you cast a spell on me.
food and drink, alcoholic if you request, or non-alcoholic otherwise, will be provided to you. You are given you're given a room. It is rather spacious. It's not exactly like it's not a royal suite or anything. It's comfortable enough, and it's yours. The four of you are together.
Look, he's here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the five of you are together. Yeah. Because that's how we opened up. You were coming into consciousness, and the question was 2, right? And then it said, nah, 5. Because the 5 of you were found. So yeah, I'm sorry. There's the 5 of you here. So yes, Loki is here, and the evening is yours to worry about the aches and pains of taking quite a tumble through the skies, being jostled around the interior of a living bioship, and trudging a little decent ways through the countryside to a dwarven ranch as the sun was setting over the lands. So be as in pain or unconscious as you'd like.
And Mordecai is going to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with sleep. Sleep is good.
Nor will I
Also
too.
gonna sleep.
All right.
Like everyone except Celine's going to sleep. Because Celine's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Celine just doesn't sleep.
She tries to pretend if it's, if it would cause an issue, but yeah, she doesn't sleep.
If it's any consolation, yeah.
However, that being said, Mordecai, she is going to discreetly pull you aside, and she was not looking the best, and she's going to tell you that whether it's now or at some other moment later, she's going to need a little bit of a boost.
How much of a boost?
Not that the Repentless necessarily took a lot out of me, but with that and being banged around so much and everything that has happened, maybe it was even those weird long moments at the monastery or something. Not much. Not if I don't need to do anything too drastic or major. But I did really expend a lot back there.
I'm starting to feel it,
Well, I don't like it either.
Just thought you should be aware. And he's gonna go in for a kiss, but
Mhm.
just a kiss goodnight, in a way.
Okay. Okay.
He's gonna let her have as much as she needs, but
she really tries to be reserved, as you feel that familiar, maybe a creeping cold, or or like your vision might sort of fade on the edges. But you do give some of your life to Celine, and for it she does. Whether or not that's necessarily replenished her in full, she at least looks healthier. She looks fuller. Her eyes aren't quite as hollow looking, and she has more of a natural, lifelike appearance to her. In vampire terms, she definitely has a blush of life about her. But she tells you thank you and to sleep well, because she'll be on guard all night.
and to sleep.
To sleep you go. Of all the nights for lethality have to be here, it's not necessarily a spotlight moment, but at some point during the evening, Celine is going to notice that the door to your all's room cracks open very slightly, and a head pokes in. And Celine at first thinks that it might be a child, though it's a little difficult to say. Like, the stature seems to be that of a child. And her first reaction is to look over towards Bright to make sure that this isn't some kind of a prank. Bright, you're teaching him well.
Yeah, no, it's not me. Not
Yeah.
me. I mean, I would have cast invisibility if it was me.
Yes, the amateur mistake, if nothing else, is proof that it's not.
Should always be invisible during your pranks. That's always a good precaution.
Though there's something that she doesn't immediately make out, because she sees it for a moment, doesn't quite have time to adjust, as she does have dark vision, but there is some light from outside. And as her eyes are adjusting, she gets kind of a childlike form, and then it just sort of ducks back behind the door and closes it. Not swiftly with a loud bang, but it had been noticed, and it just sort of ducks away. But that is, I mean, Celine might get up and make sure that it's not Bright, just look to make sure that's not like a wig or like a fluffed up pillow under a blanket, that it looks like her sleeping body when she's elsewhere. But she will let you all sleep, and she will be on guard for the rest of the time. And in the morning, when you all begin to wake up, she'll tell you of that encounter, which is why I wanted to narrate it to you, so I don't have to tell it twice. She'll tell you she saw something peek inside. It didn't quite look like a dwarf, unless that's like kid dwarves look different for some reason. But that was it, besides, the nighttime noises that you'd hear in the countryside. Good morning. And you all can smell a lot of different foods. You're getting meats and breads. There's clanking of dishes and things that are coming from the other part of this family compound.
Well, that breakfast smells good.
Of that smell, whether it's traditional or they remembered what you had talked about on your initial trudge up here, Mordecai, you do smell fish that has been baked.
Ooh.
So,
I mean, I like the smell of that.
One of the dwarves does greet you as you're waking up. She tells you where the various facilities are to, use the restroom, wash your face, do all of this. There's unfortunately there's no indoor plumbing, nor is there hot water unless you wanted to ask her, and she'll offer. So it's not like you'd be imposing per se, but unless you want her to draw you a bath, which would be to warm up a bunch of water and sort of fill up a tub, and you can scrub yourself in it.
So is this place part of Shadahar?
Well, she goes on to try and answer. From maybe how you would know it, yeah, you could say it is, though we would like to consider that it's not.
Okay. I'm just wondering, because the Shadahar have indoor plumbing, and they've been introducing it in Mesomaska, but why would they introduce it in Mesomaska if they haven't put it everywhere in their own place?
Yeah, well, the Shadahar also have their heads up their asses, and, we don't want to import too much from them.
I see.
Yeah,
Anything else, sweetie?
I got the distinct
that's all for
impression
now.
that you all don't like the Shadahar.
I think that's a fair way of putting it. Having miserable bastards as neighbors is pretty awful.
What did they do?
People who steal your land and pretty well just taking your livelihood from you and impose themselves and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. They're being a little bit more polite about it in the Mesomaska.
Oh, well, of course. It's very well known that you Mesomaskans are sympathizers. Oh, ask
Say
anyone.
sympathizers.
Oh,
I
of
don't think
course.
sympathizers is a proper term for it.
Oh, I mean, if you want to call it just New Shadahar, that's fine too, I suppose. Although it would actually be more like old Shadahar. New old Shadahar? How would you say that?
Yeah, I'm not among those who like the Shadahar invasion force, if I'm honest.
I mean, I'm kind of neutral, but no, I know people in Oldport and in Askhorns, and some of them are okay with it, some of them don't like it.
Ah, so you call it an invasion. Interesting. You can usually
I
tell where
do.
people lie in that regard with the terminology that they use.
Well, a child emperor who has no business going into a region and more or less declaring, without declaring, that the region is theirs now is a little suspect.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that I know all the finer details. Only what happens to come out this way to Breeze Bane. I might not be the best to talk to about this. That might be left for some of the others you'll probably meet at the breakfast table. Get a little brekkie in ya?
Brekkie sounds good?
He does sound good.
What's
So
brekkie?
when you say sounds good, do you mean like it sounds like something you'd like, or do you just mean it's fun to say? Because brekkie, it is kind of fun.
Both?
I don't know, it reminds me of the Gnomish word for lunch.
What's the Gnomish word for lunch?
Brunch.
Brunch?
Yes.
That's not quite a difference.
They're different. So maybe it's like not
I thought Gnomish
gnomish,
had
but
more
maybe it's
syllables
dwarven.
than common.
Maybe it's dwarven for breakfast.
I think that's a word that has been in the language for a very long time. It probably has a Fey origin.
And that's why it's
Not
short?
sure. Well, no, some Gnomish words are short. No, it's just not very fun. It's just like brunch. It's just one syllable. It's, brunch.
That's why I think it sounds odd as a gnomish word. They're usually long and, drawn out in some cases.
Well, they have to be long and drawn out,
maybe
that way
gnomes
you
are
can
quick
talk
about their
faster.
lunches.
Well,
If you're hungry, you gotta say it. It's like, hey, brunch.
I mean, it makes sense though, because, what would you call a meal that's halfway between breakfast and brunch?
Brekkie. Right?
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. So,
Okay, so
Brekkie.
there's breakfast, brekkie, brunch, lunch, dinner, supper.
Don't forget second breakfast.
You can't forget tea.
Oh, you got
I
tea
did
in there,
forget
too.
tea.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's midnight snack.
Fourth meal.
only if you are a, sneaky child looking for sweets.
I mean,
Who in the party could that be?
Sweet, but preferably a sweet midnight snack.
I wonder who indeed that could be.
I wonder.
So you all you tend to your various morning necessities. It is offered that if you would like anything to be washed, that she'll take it down to the river and wash it for you. She does have things that, well, Bright for sure you'd fit into. Noralai, not so much because you're tall. I mean, it would fit, but it would be kind of, it'd be a little shorter on you. Same with you, Mordecai. Although Mordecai might fit you a little bit better.
I'm 6 foot.
Oh, I thought you were 5 foot something, and Noralai was taller than you. Because she's like 6'3".
Like 5'11", 6 foot, something like that.
Okay.
No, I'm not 6'3". My base height is 5'4". My current wild magic height is 5'10".
Oh, I thought you broke 6 foot. Okay, never mind then. All right,
Nope.
so no, I'm sorry, Noralai. So it'll fit you better than it would Mordecai. So Mordecai on you, it might be a little short. Almost bordering on the. It's not a skirt, it's a belt kind of a thing. But it's there is what there is. Though it would seem that the pants you offer might actually be more like they'll fit you width-wise, because the dwarves certainly do have a standard thickness to them, but you'd wear them kind of like probably more like clam diggers or capris. So, all right.
Not exactly the best look on me.
But would you like her to tend to any of your all's clothing, or?
I mean, if she wants to. I usually just prestidigitate it clean, but if she's
She actually wants to do laundry.
Yeah.
I don't want to reject her hospitality. So.
All right, then
Yeah, that's fine with me too. Mordecai will take, his clothing and actually have it washed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So for all of you except Bright, I mean Bright, their stuff might be a little looser on you. Not exactly like little kid in dad's coat kind of a thing, like with your hands end like in there flopping with like half a foot of fabric at the ends or something. But you fit better. Mordecai, Noralai, Loki, and Celine all have interesting fashion that fits in some places better than others. But you're dressed in country fare. You certainly blend in, and you make your way.
We all got midriff, and it's nice.
What's that?
We all have midriff, and it's nice.
Yeah. So your things are taken by one of the dwarves to wash at the river, and you all make your way to a very large breakfast table where it does seem like that there's a main family table where there are dwarves, and there's a couple other tables where maybe it's other like distant relatives or neighbors or just like the farm help. that's coming to share in Brekkie as well. And they have made a lot of different things. It's not a super duper buffet of items, so it's not like there's heaps of sausages and dozens of fish that have been roasted over a fire. But there's going to be enough for there will be enough for everyone. It's a nice hearty meal. There's been a lot of eggs that have been scrambled up and put in. Bright, there are baked potatoes and other vegetables that have been pulled up and boiled, broiled, maybe even boiled, mashed, or put into a stew. And fish, various meats as well. And there's not a lot of fruit, though. There's a couple things, but this isn't quite the season nor the land for abundant fruit to grow.
It's okay. Potatoes are good too. And eggs, potatoes and eggs, and I'm sure they have some cereal or some bread, so it's all good.
As you sit down, the majority of the conversation is in Dwarven, just straight up the Dwarven language. There are some terms that you would get that would be common with the Dwarvish accent, and that's probably relating to things that would be more traditionally Shadahar than native to the dwarves here. So it's in the common tongue concept or thing or person that they bring up, but it is interwoven into a primarily Dwarven conversation. As you make your way, everyone seems pretty calm. It's not like they stop talking and stare at you as you come to sit down. You do get some looks, but it's not an awkward situation. It's not a weird whatever. There's not armed guards waiting for you, and this was an elaborate trap the whole time. But yeah, you are welcomed to the table. Also, welcome to the raiders who came in from Lawful Stupid RPG. Raven, if you're out there, can I get a shout out to Lawful Stupid, please? Greetings, and I hope that you all had a good adventure at your tabletop as we are tonight in ours.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sat down. You have it's not quite the kids' table. Not that there's children there, but it is sort of a table. You're by the family, but you're not with the family. And it is the five of you. And you're told you can grab whatever you want from the main row of tables and sit down and eat. And there will be a family meeting after everyone's had a time to wake up, to talk, to eat and get ready, as people are going to be given their farm assignments, their news. They're going to share any news that came in over the course of the evening, etc., etc. Hello, Raiders. Hi. So, eating as you will, you'll get the things, the foods that your characters would enjoy. There are kids that are here, and they'll come up, and the kids, more than the adults, are the ones doing more of the staring and pointing. Maybe making fun of, or at least like, oh, they look so weird, or just Bright in particular. You actually seem to be the subject of adoration, as your hair is the fascination of the kids who are here. And they ask you like all kinds of things, like, is that naturally your color? Did you have to eat something to color your hair that way?
Lots and lots of strawberries.
Whoa, I don't even know what a strawberry is, but I want to eat them too and have pink hair.
Well, it's like a snozberry, but with more seeds.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds exciting.
They're pretty exciting, yeah. Oh, and also strawberries don't make you see things, because snozberries are like that. But so that's not as fun, but they taste about the same.
Hey, miss, are you a kid like us too?
No, I'm 200,000 years old. You just can't tell.
Oh, why did you stop growing up?
Well, this is just normal. This is how big my people get. Well, some of them get Actually, I'm kind of taller than average for a gnome. Just a little.
Whoa. You people are small, just like the Bogans. Wait, is you a Bogan?
I don't know what a bogan is.
And they're kind of conferring, and you hear things like they wouldn't know what that's not what they're called by their people. Oh,
Is it like a goblin or?
You would probably call them goblins, not bogans.
Yeah, goblins. Yeah, no, I'm not a goblin, but yeah, we're about the same size.
I didn't even know you had goblins down your way. I thought they were just our problem.
No, there's goblins everywhere. I mean, not as many. It depends on where you are.
I don't think I've actually seen a goblin. Are they in Mesoamerica?
I don't think so.
There
I've
are
never
not
seen
goblins. Maybe you've heard of goblins, but there are no goblins in Mesotopia.
Yeah, there's no goblins where we are.
Bright, like you might have read about them as some weird kind of, I don't know, not necessarily a mythological creature, but sort of a, I don't know, like a storybook monster or like a figment from a far off land, a strange creature. Mordecai, maybe to an extent in various fairy tales.
Huh.
For us, they're just tales.
There is some confusion as well because gnome and goblin share several similar letters, and so there's some crossover as well where our gnome's actually goblins because you got the G, the O, and the N in there. But
no, we're not goblins. But
none of us are goblins.
Or if it's gnome that ends in MB. Like comb or tomb, and not an E, like a GNOME. So,
I mean, it would be fun if it ended in MB. That would be a fun way to spell things. Boy, gnomish spelling is hard to keep up with because every once in a while someone finds a way that's more fun to spell than the other way. Then we just change it, and everybody else has to figure. It's kind of like a game. That's why we enjoy reading so much.
So you saying Bogan? Bogan?
No.
Well, even if you was, well, at least this
Besides,
family.
aren't they green instead of pink?
Oh, well, I see that, but I didn't know if that was because of the strawberries you was talking about.
Well, that's a good point. But no, it's none of us are green. I mean, we come in all kinds of colors, but for the most part, we're kind of earthy colors. We've got some.
I think
brown.
they lose everyone who's
wait.
colored green.
What was your hair color before? And the other one says, "I know, pantsers. Find out." No, you dummy, because it would be strawberry too. Oh, I didn't think of that.
No, please don't do that. I wouldn't appreciate that very much. But no, I mean, some gnomes have pink hair, but not all of us do. It's just how. I mean, how tieflings are. Some of them have blue hair, and some of them have black hair, and it's like that. Some of us have pink hair, and some of us don't. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, we saw you was with one of them eatlins.
Yeah, that's a fun way to say it. Eatlins. I like that.
And one of the other kids baps him on the shoulder. Don't say that. Not in front of him. Oh, sorry. Tieflins.
Is there something bad about eatlins? Because that's fun.
The kids look at each other, and if they don't have psychic powers, then they at least come to some unconscious consensus, and they all sort of look at you in a very slow, creepy, like Children of the Corn, and just go, "No. Bye now," and they run off.
Maybe I should have cast Detect Thoughts.
On kids?
I mean, it works on kids.
I mean, yeah, but this seems like a little bit of a waste. Kids are kids.
Babies crying. Whiskey works on babies too. It's not just an adult suppressant. Uh, so the kids dash off after confusing Bright for a bogan, which is apparently a goblin, and calling Mordecai and subsequently Noralai an Eatlin, whatever an Eatlin is. But Brecky served. The head of the family gives some powerful claps, starts assigning various jobs for the day to the various people here. In a sense, you're actually making some cultural connection to what you saw in the village of Browbeat itself. There's a similar community. Now, of course, this one is all dwarves and not a mix of mostly humans and dwarves. But there are some similarities, some customs, the way that people carry on about their lives and jobs. Apparently the farm helpers, which part of their repayment or just being a welcomed extended family member, they eat and they're the first to go, because it then seems to go into family business. And even then, maybe they're just cousins or people outside of the core group. They begin to get up and go about what they're going to do. The one who offered to wash your things wishes you all well and tells you you probably should stay for this part. And give her a couple, give her through the afternoon, and she'll make sure that your things are washed and they're hung up to dry. And so most of the family leaves, leaving you with just some core members. Among them are the ones who went to find you, salvage you. I don't know which verb you would prefer, from the wreck of the Repentless. And there's not exactly like a bunch of privacy, because there's still people going about doing their thing, and whatever. The kids are mostly corralled and going to whatever version of school or just a watch that is put out there for them. So whatever's going to be said isn't necessarily private, but it is core family that's here. Right, now, we have the topic of our guests. Esteemed guests, hello, good day to you.
Hello.
I believe that more formal introductions are to be made. We've realized that you've not murdered us in our sleep, and we've not murdered you. That's an excellent foundation upon which to build this ongoing relationship that we found ourselves in, as you have found yourself inside of our community. And you all will be prompted to stand up, almost like a classical team building exercise that you might be familiar with from either school or various community groups or whatever. Hi, I'm so and so. You're prompted to say, and in fact, we'll even do this. This could be fun character building. Give your name and tell us something interesting about you. Who would like to begin?
Me. Oh, I want to start. Me.
Loki looks to you like, should we stand up together or?
No, I got it.
Okay. Oh, that's what you yeah. Of course, you're the leader. He looks to everyone else at the table. You should go first as our leader, the leader of the Chroma Company. Everyone.
Hi, I am Norley Amasite. These are my brothers, Loki Adius, or Loki Amasite, and Mordecai Silverleaf. And then that's Sprite, my best friend. And that's Celine, who's married to Mordecai. And I'm the leader of the Chroma Company. I also am building an orphanage in Alaska.
There's some. I guess that is kind of interesting. So the leader of the dwarves, they haven't formally introduced themselves yet, but presumably they will after you do. So I should be talking to you. I don't know quite how your culture works. Should I be looking you in the eye as I go about what I have to say? Does business go through you? Is one of your brothers actually your secretary?
You can talk to all of us at once. There's no hierarchy really here.
I just make final decisions.
Oh, all right.
I think she might still be drunk from yesterday. I'm not sure.
I did not drink anything.
Someone,
I don't know what you're talking about.
one of the others that recovered, he was like slapped another on the shoulder. I told you she must have been absolutely knackered. That's why the ship was as it was. And then the leader of the family. All right, hey. Well, it seems that the rest of yous was somewhat introduced, though I'm looking for something a little bit more personal. You there, Loki, why don't you stand up next, introduce yourself, and tell us something interesting about you. Darkwolf, this is you too.
Trying to think of what he would say about himself. I feel like he would stand up and say, hello, this is my name. And be like, I'm a businessman. Yes, that's what I am.
That ain't interesting. What's your business? Something interesting about you. A couple people are yelling up.
He'd be like, goods and services. I trade.
Boo!
I have a pet snake.
The crowd is growing rather disinterested at the litany of mundane and boorish things that Loki. Interesting. Do you got two willies? Do you what? Do you have a weird scar somewhere? Are you the one that there's some local reference, probably about there's a monster in the woods or something.
What he's gonna do? He's like, all right, I got something. It's a demonstration. He's gonna use his Eldritch Blast, but use a Grasp of Hadar to grab an item, and it comes out of just this black tentacle.
Oh.
That goes out and just grabs like a chair or something that's unoccupied and just pulls it towards him.
All right, that happens, and the dwarves at the picnic table here effectively are just there's quiet.
Interesting enough.
And there's just a trickling sound as there's these dwarves are staring, and then one looks down. Oh, sorry, I spilled my water. And there's some slow nods, and I'd say that's interesting. It says a couple of the different dwarves. They all seem to nod in agreement. Good to know.
No, he does a little golf clap.
Loki, go ahead and why don't you take a seat, and Brother Mordecai?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Mordecai Silverleaf. I am a cleric of the land. I, with the Chroma Company here, am looking to save the world by being a musician and or just slaying aberrant creatures.
He's the one that hit his head, right? Yeah, I think so. So you get up and tell this, not untrue, but to them, a very fairy tale...
Outlandish.
I'm the hero that's gonna save the world. Uh-huh, that's nice, dear. So yeah, a couple of them are looking at each other, and the eyes of the assembled dwarves here are sort of scanning to the others, looking for some sort of acknowledgement, or if Bright's yeah, no relation, or something. But apparently not seeing any particular signals in that regard. Noted. Well, Hero Mordecai. Is it Mordecai? Silverleaf? I thought you was, which one of you has the family name?
Oh, Amosite's family name.
Oh.
Yeah,
wait, you took your wife's name?
What, me?
Yeah.
No. My family name is Silverleaf.
Well, she did say orphanage. Oh, right. Oh, adopted. Oh. Yeah, too right. Okay.
Sort of. In a way.
No, it's all good. No judgment here. It's cool.
I've been adopted by Norlai. As a second big brother.
Well, good on you. Good on you, mate. Now, Mordecai, because I guess I get to put you in a pinch as well. I would like you to introduce Celine, and what is something interesting about her.
I think she would say something to the effect of, "My name is Celine. I am indeed Mordecai's wife, and my eyes are heterochromatic."
We can see that.
I'm half Aslandian elf.
Boo.
You're not a doctor anymore.
That is the personal story, Norlai.
That gets the dwarves like they're banging on the table. That's interesting. You ain't a doctor? Tell us why. Did you kill someone?
In so many words.
No, love. That was just a few words. You're the one with many.
I'll let you think what it is that you will think. And nothing more.
The eyes sort of fall on Mordecai. I don't know. There's some murmurs, and
Let them
shrugs.
speculate. It's fine.
All right, dear. What you got for us?
Who's dear? Is it me? Is it my turn, or is it someone else?
Yep, you're the deer.
Okay. So
okay.
Dear.
Yeah. So, so I'm not anybody's sister, and I don't have two willies. In fact, I don't have any, because that's how it usually is with girls. Not always, but usually. But yeah. So you might have noticed that I've got a glass eye, and it kind of wobbles, but it's not actually an eye. It's actually a pearl, because once upon a time, just a few months ago, but also 100,000 years ago, I was...
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. I used to be dead. I wasn't really dead. It was more like an undead kind of a situation. And I didn't have most of this body. It was just a skull and floofs. But the floofs were made of fire. And anyway, while I was not quite dead, it turned out that I was also the ruler of a whole city. But it turned out that I didn't belong there. So I packed up my things and they sent me away. And it was because of Mordecai that I was able to come out. And then we found Norlai. She was trapped for a long time too. And it was sad because we didn't know she was trapped. So as soon as we found out, we got her out, but we didn't know. We thought she was dead. And Mordecai was dead too. It was kind of funny. It happens, and Celine was also dead. It happens to a lot of us. It's a thing with us. But we all got better, and that's hopefully how it'll be for everyone. Because a lot of us are dead. Some of us are just dead on the inside, but some of us are dead for reals. But I'm hoping that we'll all get better, and that's what we're all trying to do.
Bonza, Sheila! You're getting a standing ovation from the story that you just told to everyone. That's a gift right there. I didn't want to bring up the eye, but well, you answered the question. Well, how'd you lose it?
Oh, I didn't. Well, I mean, when I was dead, I was just a skull and I didn't have any eyes. Then when I came back, I had the pearl with me, and it just kind of got stuck in there, and that's how I got back to being me. It's a little reminder of what I've been through.
Maybe not as good a story as a tussle, but I buy it all the same. Good on you. And the crowd is very pleased with Bright's introduction and story.
It's a story that we all know. I guess you don't know it though, so that's fun.
News to us. Now, let's introduce. There are several other family members that will get up in out-of-character terms. These are ancillary background. It's a large family, etc. You don't need to worry about their names. Then we come to the ones that are going to be more standing out to you all. Now, we're going to give a proper introduction, not just nicknames. I believe that we can extend the family hospitality to you. And they go through, introduce themselves. You have Bard, or Bad. You have Reaper. Mox. Emmy. And Galvin. Those were the five.
I see what you did there.
Those are the five that had rescued you, quote unquote, from the crash site.
Pleasure to meet all of you.
Celine is going to say in return, you know, for everyone that I've seen here, speaking of introductions, there's someone that hasn't introduced themselves, and that I have seen in the house. In fact, this person even tried to sneak into the room last night, and they kind of look around each other, or at each other. Can you describe, was it one of the kids? No, I don't believe so. She looked different. A little back and forth. Oh, alright, I know who you must have seen. Don't worry about it. No need to worry. It may be distasteful to some, but it's no secret that she's here. We actually, so we've made a bit of a peace with a bogan. She primarily hangs out in the corner. Her name's Tig. She probably just needed to check in on you, see what you're up to. Not every day we get, well, people crashing out of the skies. Really harmless, usually stays out of the way. So if you see well, I'm sorry, you'd probably call him a goblin. She's our corner goblin, and helps out with a couple different things. No big deal. She knows us all pretty well. Probably one of the most trusted goblins around. You need not worry. She may be a little disturbing at first, but you'll either get used to her or you won't notice her at all.
Okay. Well, are we due to talk about that, maybe meeting some of your leaders? Because
Yeah, I'll tell you what. For the rest of you, that has things to do. Why don't you start that? I need to get the visitors rather caught up on how things work around here, and it's not a tale that you need told again. And they nod. There's some grumbles, and the rest of them seem to go off, with the exception of Galvin, who stays behind and actually now comes to sit at the table with you. He brings over a plate of food and plops onto a wooden bench with a bit of a creak. Right. So, eventually here, you're going to have to go see the king. Now, the king... Oh, maybe I need to step back. I don't know how good you are at putting a bunch of different thoughts together. And it's usually, this is just so commonplace for us, I'm not quite sure where to start. Alright, so there's a king and a queen that rule over the lands. Pretty common, right? Okay.
Right. Typical.
The king and the queen...
Unless you're Mesomasca, then it's a cabal, but yeah.
I don't know what that word is. I'll presume it's okay.
Like a council.
There's counselors to them, but no, we've got a king and a queen, Victor and Victoria, and but the thing is though, they live in two different places. The king rules the mountain, but lives here in the countryside. Queen rules over the countryside, but lives in the mountain.
Why is that?
There's a bit of a history. I can probably get to it, but let's first things first, mates. All right.
All right.
So as such, you're here in the country. I'm gonna have to take you to see the king. If nothing else, you probably have either bragging rights, or maybe some explaining to do. In either case, we'll take you to go see Victor, and as he's the king and he's the king of the mountain, I'm sure he can give you a warm welcome to the mountain itself. So that is, well, that's going to be our day today. I'm sure that the circumstances being what they are, I can take you in and you can be seen rather quickly. He's not too far away. He does live in the hills here with us. You might... many people call us the hill dwarves, and then of course we've got the mountain dwarves. Really no big difference between it, except where you live, and maybe a bit of the accent and culture. If you can tolerate us, I'm sure you'll get along famously with those in up over the mountain, that is. So that's the immediacy. Now, of course, you're in the Queen's land here. Well, the Queen is the ruler of the lands surrounding the mountain. Though the name actually is older than that. We dwarves have quite a long history. It's I don't know, it's probably boring to you. We're a really old people, though. Done a lot of things. And, look, I'm sorry, you probably... I don't know if you know it or not, but I know the kids, the kiddos called you, and he makes a gesture to Mordecai, Norelai, and Loki with a bit of a sweeping hand gesture. Called you Eatlins. It may not mean anything to you, but it's a bit of a joke phrase, I suppose you could say, around here. It kind of goes back to a tense time in our history. But that's neither here nor there. We don't carry any ill will towards you. But if someone calls you an Eatlin, I guess if you want to scowl at him, you can. Otherwise,
don't think
you say something for so long, it might be kind of hard to break the habit without going out of your way and trying. So... don't be sore at them. I don't think that'll really get you too much ire. You're not wearing the Imperial colors.
No.
Tieflins? Tieflins?
Iflin.
Tieflins is kind of uncommon here. Not terribly so, given the the capital and all. But just some past tension. It's not like we keep a book of grudges or anything. But there's a history. Dwarves are known to have pretty long memories. There's a lot that we write down, I suppose you could say. I don't know, that might be...
So, wouldn't that mean that you do keep a book of grudges?
Well, alright, well, Bright, you see... yes, there's a book of grudges. No, I don't keep the book of grudges, and I haven't added anything to let alone my book of grudges, for at least a little while. But we are in the habit of recording things that happen throughout time, and a quaint cultural note, I suppose you could say.
Wait.
Do you got a bonker on the head? I think she's broken.
No, I get stuck sometimes. Whenever I have a really interesting idea, sometimes it just gets stuck. How far back do these books go?
Well, the ones you'd find out in the hills, a ways. But the ones in the mountain, a ways away.
Oh, because
Have you
I mean, a
heard
book
of
that
it?
goes back a ways would sure be interesting for us.
Yeah,
I'd
for
like to
sure.
read that book. Not just the grudges, but the other parts too.
Oh, I suppose. Are you into architecture? Lots of building material there.
More into the history of the land, actually. At least for me, anyway.
Of course,
It's a
all
very
sorts of
history
records are
buff.
kept. Seasons, holes and harvests. Actually, you know what, Mordecai? You're a man who seems to be into tall tales. They don't get much taller than... He leans in. He has kind of a... It's not a troll face, but sort of like an acknowledging look of expectation. Eh? You like giants? I got tall tales for you. That was a joke.
Giants.
Well, I
you
mean,
say.
not a joke about the giants, but if you're a fan of the fairy tales and such, yeah. We got tales
Giants
going
are
all
very
over.
much real, friend.
Yeah,
Or were,
it's funny.
at least.
Giants and gnomes
Were.
are actually really closely
He
related.
corrects you.
It's like we split in half, and they got the tall, and we didn't.
He looks at you, Bright, and is kind of... Are you familiar with some of the tales?
Some of the tales are true, yeah.
Well, I don't know
really
how true they
interested
are,
to
but
see-
it's interesting that someone like you ended up picking up on a little bit of our folk stories.
Yeah, they're... Yeah, we'd be really interested to see them, compare them to our stories.
Yeah. Well, according to the tall tales, you got the short end of the stick, huh? He gives you like a bap on the shoulder that you've been seeing him do, but he's used to giving other dwarves shoulder baps and kind of gives you a jostle.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, but the short end is the best end of the stick. It's funny, that's a gnomish saying too, but it means the opposite thing.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I believe that you got a little bit more, well, if nothing else, you can enjoy the countryside some. Your things probably won't be ready if you wanted to go in your attire. Otherwise, we could probably find something a little bit better fitting. As he kind of eyes all of you over and just gives you an interesting look. But we probably won't be leaving till afternoon to make sure we can get to where the king is by evening. That way you can have supper or dinner, I believe you were also calling it. Another word for it. Anyway, we'd be able to get there in time, and we'll make sure that you get an audience.
An audience would be fantastic.
Right, well, I believe then we have
can use
things
all
to
the
do.
allies we can get.
You better get your tail story, your tail straightened out. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, for those of you who have tails, the common tongue is, it's a bit weird at times. Anyway, you know what I mean? For those of you with tails, I don't know, get them straightened out too. Those of you with tails, which is all of you, get that straightened out, because Look, I ain't saying you're a lawyer. I ain't saying you're a truther. But you're going to have to go and give a presentation of sorts. And if you're going in all discombobulated, well, that won't look so good on you. And I can't make a promise of what the king might judge.
No, certainly not.
Anyway,
I'm sure he's
you got the
a
morning.
man who has some discretions.
I'm going to go busy myself so that I can't end up incriminating myself as to the things that you say or do, as I'll be peacefully unawares of them. And if you want to lay out on a hillside and soak up the sun, you can do so. You want to go dip your feet or I guess use your tail in the water, you can do that too. Whatever you want, just listen for the bell, and I'll make sure to ring it. And when that happens, I expect you to come pretty quickly, and we'll be off.
Sounds fair enough, friend.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Fair dinkum, then. Comes over, and he clasps each of your forearms. Depending on your height or size as appropriate. And you're not alone on the farm, but you're left alone in the eating area here as people have started their days and are going about doing the things that they're going to do in the countryside here. You can go explore the town. You can talk with animals. You can, chew on a piece of grass. You can hunt bugs or something, whatever you want.
I would actually be interested in maybe finding out more about these stories that the fellow was talking about.
Sure.
You know, I'm always interested in stories.
Okay. Norlai, and probably Norlai / Loki, because he'll probably stick with you. What would you like to do?
Probably just stick with Mordecai.
Okay. I guess unless you want to send her off, Selena's with you too, Mordecai, or do you think Selene might take an interest in
Yeah,
other
she'd
things?
I think she would be interested in some of the stories, so we can have her be with Mordecai in that regard. Okay,
and Bright?
I mean, I'm very interested in the stories. Look how many weights I said. So I definitely want to go in.
Very well then. The party does not split. Therefore, I cannot send ninjas after each of you in your reclusive spots to murder you.
Ha ha. Fooled again.
Yes, you foiled your DM by sticking together in the quaint farming village. Meanwhile, in every other area of the game and hazardous locale, let's split up, guys. You make your way. Then let's do this. I won't tell you necessarily because you can find stories in a lot of places. There's people working the fields, as you would find in any town. There's a graveyard. There's probably not a library. There doesn't seem to be any sort of big public infrastructure. There's probably a town hall. A big assembly place for meetings, maybe a shelter. You are not seeing an overt place of worship. Certainly there's no signs of or culture of Wee-Jas. You're not seeing skulls or mystic flames or any sort of references along those lines.
That's something that Mordecai would find curious is, do they worship a god of any kind?
Oh. Nothing seems overt. In fact, Mordecai, almost to an extent that this would remind you of being at the Six Landlords. Because unless you were told, their place of worship was it was a big old yurt like where everyone else lived or had other buildings.
Right. So,
and there was no
that's definitely a question he would pose to someone directly.
If your main contact with the dwarves here is Galvin, if you wanted to talk to him, because he was assigning everyone else different tasks, so he probably goes around and either supervises or lends a hand with any of the things that are needed. So
Yeah, I'll talk to Galvin.
if you want to find him, he would be your liaison to the family. And I don't know if you have other places where you think you might be able to find a story in some telling. No. So the proposal is to go find Galvin. He would be the closest because you're still on the farm. It looks like he's over. He's over talking to someone who's cutting some wood on the side of the compound.
Yeah, I would definitely go talk to Galvin about it and ask him directly.
Mordecai, do you have a nickname? Morty is I don't know what do you prefer?
No, it's Mordecai.
Mordecai. All right, I'll have to. It sounds so formal saying it out like that. We're so used to giving each other nicknames around here. All right, Mordecai.
I've never had a nickname.
Well, then now you do. Morty, what can I do for you?
Well, I noticed that there isn't much of a religious, like an overt religious presence here. Do you worship a god?
Oh, you looking for Lady of Death, huh? You're not gonna find her here. Not that we, of course, don't experience our fair share of it, but you won't find any of us worshipping. He kind of looks around and almost makes like a little superstitious sign. Her.
I don't worship her either, if I must say. The reason being is because being so close to Shadahar, I would have thought that maybe their influence on this place would have come this far, but I would suppose not.
Well, you see, their influence is felt in a couple other ways besides. They bring their religion with them. I don't know if you know this, but each of their ships has a small little shrine to her aboard.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't need us to worship.
Yeah, I noticed that. What about the land?
What about it?
There's a tribe of tieflings in Mesomaska that seem to pay particularly close reverence to it, and the fact that it provides for everything. I was wondering if there was something similar that goes on here.
I think I get what you're going for, and it's not quite like that. The land is the land. I mean, it does provide. Obviously, look at the grass under our feet. Look at the water flowing through the river there.
Certainly bountiful here.
But we don't. We might make comparisons. For instance, the Queen rules over the hills. Of course, the Queen having rather luxurious hills herself. There's maybe a bit of a feminine aspect ascribed to it. You'll probably wander about. You might hear some jokes about planting seed. Pay them no heed if that offends you. There's that sort of a trait, and then of course of the mountain. There's various more, shall we say, masculine attributions to that place. The king rules over it, and just as perhaps the king loves residing in the hills, what queen wouldn't love a good mountain? Now, that might be about as far as the direct translation, as far as I know, of the faith of Wee-Jas anyway. People just seem to want to, I guess, make her into a person or whatever. And, I mean, yeah, I like a tree. It's nice to sit under on a hot day. Chop it down, gives you wood. There's squirrels. It does what it does, but it's a tree. It ain't a thing. Don't have particular qualities to really personify, I guess. It's always been a little strange to try and ascribe a form, especially like if you're gonna take something like death. Pardon me, venting. Maybe I'm not insulting you if you ain't a worshiper of the lady. It's just been weird to me to sort of take a concept and ascribe traits to it like that. It's kind of weird. So yeah, we like the land, of course. We live on it. We need it to live. But we're not gonna go about
trying to deify it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, give it a pair of tits and long after it, but sure, deify it too.
Well, I don't know that I've seen any proper images of Wee-Jas either, so at least not to my knowledge.
Well, there's certainly what's the term for it? Drawing graffiti of it. Something like that. A bunch of pictures and symbols that look like things. You might even be able to see some of that stuff if you go and you get to visit the mountain proper, which I believe that you should, or you will, or hopefully if you do, it's more of a willing nature. Yeah.
Oh, we certainly would, I think. Enjoy going through the mountain and seeing if there's something that we find interesting there. But I definitely, I don't know, it just strikes me as odd that with all of the influence of Wee-Jas, that this place is one of the few bastions that hasn't really been affected by her.
Yeah, well, the way that the stories tell it is, we're a bit of a reclusive people, for a very long time. In fact, that's how we've been able to hold out against the Shadahar, the kind of the occupiers of the land, you can say. We were here first. They seemingly came up sometime after, settled around. It was a bit of a stalemate, and, apparently the tides are turning now.
They came in and never left.
Yeah, and it might be that if you want to consider the land a thing that thinks, weird, but maybe it wants them out too. If it's as brutal as the winters have been, we just go live in the mountain over the winter time. We've been doing so for a very long time. Continue to do so. Very good insulator. Plus, it allows us to write stuff down.
Like what, exactly?
All kinds of things. Tales, stories, grudges. History. History. I mean history.
The land never forgets.
Ah, I like the sound of that. I guess you could say so.
You leave your mark somewhere, it's permanent until the land says otherwise.
Oh, I guess that's true. Ugh, enough creatures, I guess us included, out in the fields leave our marks on things too. Trees, rocks. A lover?
It's just interesting. About what time did you say we were going to go see the king?
Oh, you got time. It's only late morning. You're not going to go until at least after lunch.
Okay. Well, that's briefly what I wanted to know.
Yeah, have a walkabout. See the sights. Talk to people if they're willing to talk to you back. Otherwise, look around. Though I do suggest if someone asks you to back off or to get off their lawn, do so.
Someone doesn't like the others trampling on their grass.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a thing with us. Makes a vague Shadahar everywhere hand gesture.
Noted. I can assure you I am not Shadahar.
Right, well, I got supervising to do. Hope this was enlightening. I might be able to answer more questions, especially when we're on the road, but right now I'm needed in other places. So, good day to you, and I'll listen for that bell. It'll come from the town center, too. It won't be a little lunch bell. And he'll point to the larger kind of civic structure that is up on this hill over here.
All right, we'll be listening for it.
Where to next, party?
What do you think, Bright?
I mean, that was an interesting aside, but... So, do you wonder what the deal is with the king and the queen? I mean, how do you... It's an interesting arrangement. I'm always interested in those kind of odd arrangements like that.
Well, I'm sure the rest of the townspeople would be probably, especially those who are a little less busy than, Galvin, would probably be willing to share that kind of history.
Yeah, but
I'm interested too.
I bet there's something up. Like, not like up, but just like there must be something. I don't know.
Something strange.
It doesn't sound very practical, right? It sounds fun, because you get to see your own decisions from afar. But at the same time, you'd have to have a lot of messengers going back and forth just to do anything basic. I don't know. It seems kind of strange.
Well, there's the city leaders in Mesomaska that answer to the Cabal in the capital, and the Cabal is a council of individuals who run the country.
I mean, do they? They don't really seem to do very much.
Well, we haven't actually made a stop to the capital, or actually, I mean, they're supposed to represent the wants and needs of the people. They're, at least I think they're elected officials.
Are they? I don't even know.
I've never met a person from the Cabal. I mean, the whole idea
that's how Cabals work.
I mean, it's, everything about Mesomask is anonymous, though. Everyone wears a mask.
Yeah.
So
Weird.
you wear a mask, your leaders wear a mask. We've never questioned it before.
Yeah. It's that way so people don't judge people by their appearance.
But people also make a show of their clothing instead of their actual physical appearance instead.
Yeah. But like,
I've
if
seen
someone's
some
the
very
mayor,
lavish clothing donned by important officials and aristocrats in general.
Yeah. But like, if two people are running to be mayor, you don't know what they look like, so you can't judge them on their gender or like if you think they're too old for the position or too young for the position.
I mean, it goes strictly on their principles.
Yeah. That way it's all fair. It's you know, if their principles work with you, then that's what you go off of. It's hard to slander someone when you can't see them.
I mean, that's how I typically operate those kinds of things. How does Uct conduct that kind of thing with its leaders?
I mean, among the gnomes, usually we have mostly just small towns. There's usually only a couple hundred gnomes living in any one town. They're very small. And so we can make most of our decisions together. And we just, I mean, sometimes there's some type of leader, whether it's an elder or an elected mayor. Every town just does it their own way. In Stacketall, it was kind of a hereditary thing. It wasn't necessarily a king or a queen. It wasn't that big, but it just had a family. They were called the tree books because they had trees full of books, and they just they had stories of all the other gnomish towns and who's who and the humans and who's who among them, and that was what they did. Was they just wrote down all this information about all the different people that were important in different places, and that's how they would know who to call. But it wasn't like they gave orders. They were just the people who were kind of at the center because they always knew who to talk to whenever a problem would come up, whether it was someone local or someone far away. So, it's. I mean, yeah, they're like a leader, but they didn't order people around. They just were the ones that you'd go to when you needed to know the answer to something. And then, of course, other towns had their own way of doing things too. So, but part of the thing about Uct is that we didn't need big hierarchies. We didn't really have military threats. Most of the time, the way gnomes are is people that want to hurt gnomes usually have a hard time finding the gnomes. So we don't really need armies and police forces, and it's just not how we did things.
Because you can't really get rid of an enemy if you can't find your enemy.
Yeah, and it's not like we cause trouble for other people usually. So
every gnome that I've ever encountered has always been very well.
Okay, let me rephrase that. We caused lots of trouble, but it wasn't bad trouble.
I mean, if Gaspard's anything to go off of, gnomes are very particular, and of course, knowing you as long as we have, very tricksy.
Yeah, we're tricksy people for sure.
Just don't pet Gaspard. I made the mistake of doing that once.
Well, I mean, it's good luck to robe a gnome's hair.
He hates it. He hates it because he's lost all of his hair.
I mean, yeah. Well, not all of it, most of it.
Okay.
Still got a ring.
His head was rubbed so much for luck that the hair just...
Yeah, he's not a big fan for as long as I've known him. So, yeah, just if you decide to, maybe pursue that.
This is going to be really good for me to know.
Oh no, Mordecai, what have you done?
Feel free to pet him and see what happens, Bright.
We don't necessarily know each other that well yet. We'll see what happens.
Well, then it's the more informal. You got to use your Big B's hand to pet him then, so it's not direct personal contact.
Yeah, I'll use my mage hand. It'll be safer.
The one time that I did that, he made me work double shift in the shop, and was putting me on the more dangerous tasks out of spite.
Well, where is Chroma
like
Company's?
He would do. That's too bad.
Where is it that you as a group want to go, or if any of you want to split up? Since there is a little bit of a time limit, you have several hours at least. You have a very nice afternoon in the countryside to wander around. You can travel as a group if you want, or if you think you can get more information by going to several places at once, you can do that too. But before we do get up and take a 10-minute break here, Where would you like to go as a group or individuals?
Kind of trying to find someone who's a little less busy to maybe get some of that good gossip from about the king and queen.
Yes.
That good gossip.
Okay. There's more local to you, since you are on the. I had forgotten that the family name are the Cranberras.
Cranberras?
That's how it sounds like. But
Like cranberry?
they didn't clarify. You just heard what they said their family name was.
Okay.
There's there's people who are busy doing farm work. Little farther away, there are the washerwomen, and I guess they're busy, but they're having a nice, almost like an oh brother moment where they went down to the river. Maybe not to pray, but they're there to, they're there washing. They seem to be laughing, maybe gossiping, singing a couple songs, as they're sort of splashing around in the very nice cold mountain water that's flowing through this valley. So there's
I'd
them.
be willing to help.
Otherwise, you can find people out in a pasture here. Just, are they busy? I don't know. They're watching cows eat and poop. Maybe that's busy work. They're not actively like hunting or skinning or actively, doing anything more than supervising the herd. There's that too. Overhead, the local airship does kind of move by. Though this airship doesn't have that same whine that the more traditional Shadahar does.
I am interested in that though.
It has a bit of a similarity, more like the windmills, than it does to the weird, the weird humming donuts that the Shadahar ships have.
I want to go check out the airship because I'm a tinkerer and, that strikes my fancy.
Well, you can check it out as it's
Is it
passing over,
accessible?
but
Yeah.
it's not currently accessible because it's flying from one place to the other. But it's there. It's there. It's going past.
Do I use my wings to get up there and actually talk to the pilot?
I
mean, I can cast a fly spell on you if you want.
If
I
you
probably
want.
won't be going with you. I mean, it's up to you. I'll fly you if you want to fly.
Yeah, I think I want to fly up there.
You've only got 10 minutes. But I guess you could use your wings to come back down, so that should be okay.
Yeah.
That's your emergency parachute if you need it.
Right.
Okay. You have been imbued with the power of flight.
Woo! I'm gonna go fly towards the thing because I'm an excited little boy.
All right then.
Okay,
Mordecai
I'm gonna talk.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just said I'm gonna talk to the people who are playing with the cows. That sounds fun.
Bright Norali / Loki.
I think she would want to check out the school.
Sure. We'll put you over here. And Celine is... Celine's doing what?
I don't know what Celine would do specifically.
You can come to the school with me and Loki.
She might take an interest in the graveyard?
She might take an interest in the graveyard. Probably to the effect of, anthropologically studying these people and how it is that they go about burying people when they don't believe in Wee-Jas.
Okay.
And figuring out what all of that is.
Yeah, she's not gonna like be a ghoul and eat their bones or anything. Well, you hope. But...
No, of course not.
Okay.
That sounds like something I would do.
You have chewed on bones before.
All right, so she's going to make her way more towards the outskirts of Breeze Bane, which is where the cemetery is located. Then we have Noralai and Loki, who are by the school building on this hill, where lessons are taught. The kids are running around and playing. It's not exactly like the one room schoolhouse. It's obviously not a modern concept of public schooling. There are different ages, but it's not like there's 10 kids of 5 different age groups. This is a town, so that there's a good mix and handful of kids. But they're here. They might be broken up into general age categories for instruction and play. And then Bright, you can make your way across the river and go say hi to the cows. So
Okay.
we'll pick that up.
I'll
after-
also say hello to the people who are with the cows, but also the cows.
Yes. We'll put you here, make your way in there. All right, so let's get up and take a 10-minute break. Everyone out there, get a snack and a drink yourself if you need to. Stretch, sip, snack, etc. Enjoy the custom music to our newly updated break screen. Art courtesy of Macabre Derek on that, with the new insert of Celine, as Cypher has been ferried away to be a part of the Repentless. So here, check it out, enjoy, and we'll see you back in about 10 minutes, everyone. Bye.